two documents here. One is up
Oh,
top. One, the first top one, you can blame Kim.
Me?
Alive.
Yep.
Me?
Yep, you're
Oh,
live.
sorry.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday, January 27th meeting of the Litchfield Board of Selectmen. We'd like to kick this meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So that's going to get added. So, before we start, a point of order. We had a special meeting on Saturday, an emergency meeting, that was posted and concerned the police station bond. There's been a lot of talk on anti-social media that we were sneaky and doing things behind people's back. And I'd just like to say that that's a load of bull. You don't post a meeting for public and have public present and have it recorded for television and be doing sneaky things. So, a lot of people had some comments on it, and my words to them would be to all the basement bravados out there, join a board, get on a board, all right? But don't sit in your house where you're nice and comfortable and throw barbs and accusations at a board. This board has been nothing but transparent through this whole process and through my 6 years here. And that is one of the main reasons that Mr. Lynch and I got on at the same time. Okay, and I think we've done a wonderful job. So if you've got something to say, come to the meeting, say it to us. Don't stay in your house where it's nice and safe and warm, all right? Come out and face your people, all right? Off my soapbox.
We're gonna get some company now, right?
So, up first, we have a review and approval of consent items. We have an AP manifest for January 21st, 2025 in the amount of $205,271.95. One for January 28th, 2025 in the amount of $156,135.91. We have a payroll manifest for January 23rd, 2025 in the amount of $64,269.18. And for January 30th, 2025 in the amount of $65,433.50. We have the December 2024 Town Clerk Reconciliation. We have an appointment form for treasurer for 3 years, 2025 and 2028. We have the purchase order with Natticook for $92,625. That is the landscaper that we use, that does all the town fields and everything. Wonderful job. We have communications received January 13th through the 25th of 2025. They are posted on the website for all to see, should you like to. We have authorization of transfer recreation expendable trust previously approved for $5,000. We have 22 veteran credit recertifications and 7 new veteran credit applications. We have purchase order to Motorola Solutions for $15,092. Fire department radios previously approved. We have a purchase order to Motorola Solutions for $20,202.48 for police department radios previously approved. Do we have any additional items or other business?
I'd like to make a motion, we remove the 2 purchase orders from the consent to discuss it.
To remove them?
Yeah, they're IT related, so I can't approve them anyway, so I want to talk them out to make sure you all know what they're about first.
So you want to pull them?
Pull them out of here and talk. And put them
Talk
in. Yeah.
separately?
Right after
Okay.
we get done with that,
We have a motion from Mr. Brunel to pull the 2 IT items out.
Second.
Second from Mr. Gannon. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 5-0-0. Mr. McKinnon motioned that, so. Go ahead, Mr. Brunel, you have the floor.
Do you want to approve the consent first? And then we'll do this?
Sure. I'll take a motion for that.
Make a motion to approve the consent items as listed.
Second.
We have a second for Mr. Brunel. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Okay.
So,
Now?
yeah, sure. Just, as always, these are two IT purchase orders which were previously approved by the board in previous actions, just to get everybody up to date. The second one, which is the purchase order for Motorola for $20,202.48. Those are for the police department radios. In my original budget in 2025, I had requested $20,000 to replace 4 aging radios in the fleet. That was removed because we had funding available in 2024 to purchase it in the 2024 budget. So that's for that one is, and we approved that in a motion back in November, I believe. For the fire department purchase order, this is a request that came from the deputy. They have 3 or 4 radios that have actually failed for portables, and he had money left over in his budget, and he had the funding encumbered in 2024, and this is the purchase order, so we can actually execute on that encumbrance.
Okay.
So those are the 2.
And we've already approved those, so.
The board has already already agreed to the encumbrances, and it's just the paperwork behind it all.
So do we need a new motion for that?
No, you don't think so?
No, okay.
Okay, so then the chair just has to sign it then at this point.
She has minutes attached, right?
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, she did it for the encumbrance, yeah.
Want me
We
to
have
do
to add this, yeah.
Sure.
Ms. Queenan has an addition to the agenda.
Find the best one.
We should all do that, right?
All right. Action taken after non-public session on January 13th, 2025. Motion, Selectman Gannon, Selectman Brunel, to raise his stipend of the treasurer annually by $1,000 and reappoint Deborah Hogenkamp for a term of 2 years from March 2024 to March 2026, or upon the appointment and qualification of his or her successor. The vote was 4-0-1, and the motion carried, and Chairman Leary was the one who abstained. Do you want me to keep reading the second piece of this?
We have minutes for the other night, too?
Yeah, we're going to be looking at
Yes,
those.
they're in the portal.
All right, so please make a motion to add the following to the agenda. Discussion and review of the emergency meeting held on Saturday, January 25th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Approval of the minutes of the meeting held. Well, you should have told me where to start. Reading.
Just read it all.
Well, I just read the non-public piece.
That's
Should
right.
have read the,
That's okay.
all right.
Read everything. See?
right.
That's transparency, everybody. We even read the small print. So we need a motion to accept all this?
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Gannon to, and a second from Ms. Queenan, for the non-public action as well as the minutes for Saturday's emergency meeting. All right, although, and, from January 25th. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? All motion carries 5-0-0. Thank you. Thanks for putting that together, too.
She did that on a Monday, so.
Is there any other business we would like to add? Okay, public input will occur no earlier than 6:45 p.m. And up next, we have a special guest tonight. We have the chairman of the planning board, Mr. Croto. Come on up and give us an update on the planning board's action, please. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. How are you, Mr. Chair?
We're good, thank you.
I will. Oh, would you like me to put up those?
What's that? Did we lose something? What are you looking for? Plug? The magic plug?
Two blue ones here. They always look
all
like
right.
color blue.
Technical difficulties, folks. Please stay tuned.
I was looking for a thinner wire.
We should play like the Jeopardy theme music or something here, you know?
Right.
Alrighty.
You like being on that side of the table?
I
Not,
suppose. I've
It's different.
been on both sides.
I know.
you know what, there's only a few times when it's not good to be over here, or not fun, I should say. Right?
Stand there.
Well, good evening, everybody, fellow select members. My name is Michael Croto at 6 Garden Drive. I'm the chair of the Litchfield Planning Board. I've been asked to come before you tonight to give you just an update on some of the amendments and zoning changes that you may going to see at the deliberative session that's coming up in February. So I'm just going to go through these. They're pretty straightforward. The first one is regarding the to amend Section 803 conditional uses for mixed use village development alternative in the Northern Commercial District. The board visited this a couple years ago and sort of put it aside. Reason being, at that time, the Economic Development Committee had just been formed, and it was thought at that time by the board, members of the planning board, that perhaps the Economic Development Committee had an opportunity to weigh in on this issue before bringing it back to the planning board. Well, the planning board sort of took on the initiative and brought it back up again to revive it. So the mixed village district is in the Northern Commercial District, and that's what we're referring to. So basically, you're looking at 8 parcels. That's a total of 45 acres in that district. And it would involve a mixed-use development, basically to the purpose to benefit the citizens or the residents of Litchfield, involving residential and commercial development. The proposal as the mixed-use district would be a conditional use that the planning board would have authority as a regulatory board to review conditional uses. Those things that would be permitted in that district include things like banks, retail stores, professional offices, healthcare facilities, personal services. There was even an inclusion, bed and breakfasts and inns was added to this. The maximum density, the board reviewed this issue a number of occasions and decided to increase that the maximum density issue to 2.5 to 4 units per acre. 100 square foot commercial space per residential unit. That's to balance the residential and the commercial. 20% of the minimum would be internal open or green space. There would be a fiscal impact assessment done with this to ensure development or to ensure development for revenue positive. So you would have to create, the applicant would have to provide a fiscal impact assessment to the board. And I believe the minimum acreage moved from 5 to 6 acres, and to preserve the historic and natural features of the area. So that's really what the purpose of this article is about. It's also about density and affordability, the village look, as you might say, the village style. I think the board emphasized the aesthetics to keep it traditional and ag-looking. And also there was much discussion about integrating support for sidewalks and pedestrian access into that. So that's number 1 of your amendment. The next one, this is the section 200, amend section 200 definitions, updating the definition of abutter. So this is to basically align with the change in state law. The revised definition in state law has become a radius-based approach for defining properties across streets and streams. And it also mandates notifying all tenants in a manufactured housing development or park. That you have, that's requirement. You would have to mandated that you notify all the tenants in that park. It's also to help to simplify the definition and It's basically RSA 672:3 as amended. So that's the definition of a butter, and it's going to be, the planning board has decided that this is the definition that will be used when we talk about abutters. So it's part of state statute. Article 4, zoning amendment number 3, this has to do with appeals to reflect changes to state law. Describe who may appeal to the zoning board of adjustment. This was just a change in the language regarding the appeals process and in the proposed zoning amendment. So essentially, it helps to basically include notification to abutters and basically to update the zoning definition to be in compliance with the legislative requirement, so the state statute requirement. So you're aligning the definition of abutter with the definitions as outlined in RSA 672:3. And it's to include as amended in the language. So. Next one is the building code. You know nothing about it, I know. So, this one was an interesting one. This came up at one of our last meetings, and then we had to have an emergency meeting to clarify the need.
Don't say emergency meeting.
Don't say emergency meeting.
Bad word.
Well, a bleep meeting, I guess, was made. So basically, the purpose of this was to clarify the need regarding the procedure for handling disputes regarding building inspector decisions. Right now, Litchfield really has no formal appeal process for this. There was an article that was vetted by legal counsel and I believe was reviewed by the Board of Selectmen. And the New Hampshire Municipal Association, I guess, identified discrepancies in local building codes across the state. So I guess we're not alone in this. So in 2021-22, the New Hampshire legislature adopted the Uniform State Building Code. So there is now a Uniform State Building Code applicable to all municipalities in New Hampshire. And the current building code that was in Litchfield was basically, it was outdated. It had outdated information, and the BOCA no longer exists. So, right. So what was proposed was that all Litchfield building codes, or the building code would be incorporated as part of the state building code requirement under RSA 155A:10. That would help to simplify the language of the state building code and remove outdated language that was there. I guess back in, before my time on the board, there was a Warren article that was delineated back in 1988, designated, giving the ZBA a Board of Appeals authority, but it was never codified into the town regulations. So it kind of was a sort of a gray area. So this really helps to look at that, and it gives the town three options. The first one is, it can establish a local building code board of appeals. It could reference it could refer appeals, those types of appeals, to the ZBA, the Zoning Board of Adjustment, as delineated in the 1988 Warren article. Or it could direct the appeal go directly to the state building code appeals board. Since the ZBA remains the designated appeal body, unless the case gets forwarded to the state board. So essentially, what it would do is it would put us in compliance with state mandate, update the outdated references, clarify, provide a more flexible approach. And it would, you know, if there is an issue with, it would go to the zoning board, and the zoning board didn't want to deal with that issue, it can go right to the state. So it gives the option, and it also provides a little bit more understanding and clarification as to what happens in that process. So that, I believe, is everything.
Just to give you a little update, the state adopted their own codes now, and that's what we've been using. Came in the code book, but 2016, 2018, such all the way through. The state adopted those. We followed them because that's a state code. The appeal process was always written to be the boards. That has changed. The state is now the appeal process, because even if the board here grants it, it's still a violation of state building code. So it would have to go there. Still. Okay?
So a question on that.
Yeah.
I never had an appeal in my lifetime.
Somebody's doing a project.
Mm-hmm.
Town issues a cease and desist. In the past, that person would just continue on and appeal to the zoning board.
Back in the old days,
Yep.
yes.
Now, what if they decide they want to still do that? Is a cease and desist actually a cease and desist? Or is it, no, I'm going to keep on doing it and appeal it?
No, I think that they would have to go before the zoning board, because you have to, essentially, you have to exhaust your administrative remedies before you can ever get to a superior court in New Hampshire.
But I mean, I know in the past,
The old
they would
days,
just
it
keep
used to
doing it.
go when- We're going back in time. When Roland was here, the zoning board, the building code appeal was the ZBA. That's going back, and then they, that's back in the International Building Code and the Boca Code and the National Code, I'll say,
But even a couple of years ago, we had Troy issued a cease and desist.
which you,
And
George,
the,
that's supposed to do
per-
that, the building inspector's supposed to do it.
well, he was zoning
He
enforcement
was
at that
zoning.
point.
Oh, okay, it was during.
And we were on the board at that time.
Yeah.
And the person said, well, I'm going to keep going and just appeal it.
Yeah,
So continue working while you're under
Con-
appeal?
While you're under a cease and desist.
You
No, I
can't
don't
do
think
that.
you can do that.
So you can't do that anymore. If you get a cease and desist, it's actually a
It's
cease and
shut
desist.
down.
Yeah, and then they can go to the ZBA and.
And they can
ZBA
overturn it. Okay.
Can have the option of referring them to the state.
Just like I give a notice of violation, the guy's doing something wrong, he just can't go and think he come back and get, keep on going.
Right.
And then, and while he's doing that, he's coming in to get an appeal. They say, you could
Fine
fine
people,
them,
right?
but,
They
most
disobey.
cases, the town didn't go with a fine, they just wanted compliance.
Okay. Cool.
So that's all I have for this evening, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
thought there was a warrant in there for the ADU size too.
For the ADU.
Square
which
footage?
one? The,
Oh, yeah. Are you changing the square footage of ADUs?
I don't
heard
think
someone
this
told me you
time.
were doing
Not
1,200.
this year?
I don't think so, no.
I'd heard that too.
I thought, someone told me that there was a.
What was it, 1,000 square feet? I heard the same thing.
It's 800, it's like 800 now, I thought. and
It-
going up
it's
to
up to
1,000.
I thought it was going to 1,200, I thought. I mean, you've authorized 1,200 square foot ADUs, so it should be an
Yeah.
issue to do it, but.
Well, the chairman should know.
I don't recall us doing, making that an amendment.
Would that be that would be a ZBA that would approve.
Well, ZBA could, well, no, I don't even think that's the case. I think it's a planning, you go
It
to
is a
planning,
plan.
it's not a ZBA, it's not against, it would be a plan,
there
Well,
was a case
it's
that
a
went to
plant.
ZBA.
Say that again?
yeah, it was Thoreau's, right?
Yeah, and that was ZBA.
You
right?
can't.
Is George
appeal.
Lavash on planning, or is he on ZBA?
I believe he's on
He's on
zoning.
ZBA,
ZBA.
yeah.
You can appeal if it's a zoning regulations, which the area of something, that's a zoning regulation, not a building code. They have a right to appeal to the zoning board if they want an increase in size.
But this would be a building regulation though, right?
Right,
It's not. It's not a building regulation, it's a zoning regulation, and the size of the building.
Yeah.
It's not the building.
So that would be
code.
ZBA then, right?
Yeah.
That would be, maybe the ZBA is
Yeah,
discussing.
I
that.
guess I'm curious because you can put a 2,000 square foot addition onto a home, so what makes it an ADU is a kitchen and a bathroom, even a bathroom in question, but But it's the
You
kitchen,
took
right?
the group, you take the area with the separate dwelling unit, what it is, okay? You just gotta take in that whole square footage, the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, the living area.
That's what makes up the ADU square
That's
footage,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
The only thing we don't add is the stairway sometimes, because it gets complicated as to where the locations are. But we just take the actual the living as you go in.
Like I said, I thought someone told me it was, I thought one of them,
I heard the
one of
same
the planning
thing.
members,
Are
I
you
thought
doing
told
an
me.
addition?
I'm doing addition, yes. At some point in time in my life, yes.
When he slows down. So other than that,
Which is
how,
never-
how's the board going? How do you feel like you're full speed now, right? You got complete.
We
all
do
members?
have a full board.
Yes, you do.
We have an alternate. Certainly use more alternates if people are interested. But right now, we are in good shape with the board. I know for a while, we were kind of like, people were coming and going. And, you know, there was waves and back and forth. But right now, I think things are pretty decent in terms
You
of
have a good
membership.
cohesive group right now. They seem to be working.
I think the group is very good, good group of people, and I think it's a good work. So, yeah, we are, always have something going on, and we're busy, but we've got a good group of people. I think it's,
Glad to hear. Well, thank you for coming in.
oh, thank you for
It's an
having me.
update.
Thanks for the
We do
update.
appreciate it. You can go home and have your dinner now.
If you would like any of these points added to these slides for Saturday,
Okay.
just let me know.
All right. A lot of this I actually took from the minutes of the meetings, so
Go.
it's based on our conversations and what we talked about. So I thought I'd give you a little bit more because I know this, it's helpful, but maybe a little bit of background can
Yes,
is a lot better.
Can I say one thing?
thank you.
One thing? Economic Development Committee is this week.
Wednesday.
So you're there, right? Economic Development, right? You're there. Oh, no, you're not Economic Development.
It's Jeremy, I believe.
Oh,
Jeremy Robert
Jeremy
is
goes,
the,
okay, so we're
rep
not
to the
gonna
planning.
talk about, the mixed-use village development, so they're gonna introduce the topic, Jay.
Okay,
And Largandia, right, they're gonna look at maybe potential zoning ordinances as well. So,
There is no economic development meeting. It's not on the town calendar.
yeah, I know, that was my other question.
So there's no resources
Yeah, our
scheduled.
SIP, the SIP is missing too. Yeah, SIP.
Well, SIP isn't yet,
thought we were gonna continue on.
yes, I have that scheduled.
Okay, you have that scheduled, okay.
But it's not
I have it
up,
for February,
but
all right.
I thought we put,
I keep hearing 2 calendars, but I don't know if that's true. I always go to Litchfield and H.gov, and you have a
Yeah,
calendar
that's-
there.
that's
the
becoming-
one I
Calendar.
use.
That's the source calendar.
Yeah.
The room doesn't always get booked, but if it's on the source calendar, it's fine.
And
It
that's the
wasn't
source
there.
calendar? The main page is the source
Yep.
calendar? Because that's where I look.
yes, the town calendar.
Is that the only one out there?
And it could be that because we were waiting to see if we actually had, people to talk, if they were ready to discuss those items.
So it has to post by tomorrow if we're gonna do that Wednesday, right? But we need to
Right,
look
but
on.
I'm concerned about a quorum.
But we'll handle that after this meeting. We'll have that. But to let you know, that was a discussion because it could have economic development, impact. as well.
All good things does.
Very good.
Thank you, Chairman Frodo.
Well, thank you very
Thank you,
much,
sir.
everybody.
Esquire.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yes.
I like to address him as the Esquire.
Ah, you earned it.
Leave it to Kevin.
Thank you.
So,
I made sure it wasn't drafted, but.
being as it is 7:03, we'd like to open it up to public input. Are there any members of the public that would like to come in and speak?
The crowd's down tonight.
Hearing none, we will close public input at 7:04.
You opened mild dialogue, didn't get anybody to come in, huh?
No. Not surprised. Oh, no, they'll sit in their basement and throw jabs still.
I'm watching.
Up next, we have approval of the minutes for January 13th, 2025, our last scheduled
Thin
meeting.
line to walk on right now. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for January
Thank you.
13th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Gannon and a second from Mr. Brunel. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Thank you.
Aye.
Up next, we have the approval of the minutes of the January 21st, 2025 bond hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 21st, 2025 bond hearing.
Second. Oh, Kevin got it.
We have a motion from Mr. Gannon, a second from Mr. Lynch.
Keep this as a group session.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just to make it easy for.
Motion carries
note taker,
500.
I'll make the approval of minutes for the non-public sessions on January 6th and January 22nd.
You're gonna have to split them.
What?
I can't vote on the 22nd.
Okay, so we have to, so we'll do a motion for
Okay.
the non-public for January 26th?
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the
January 6th.
non-public session on January 26th, 2025.
January 6th, I'm sorry.
January.
January 6th.
I'll second that.
Motion from Mr. Gannon, second from Mr. Lynch. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 500. Now for the
I
22nd.
will make a motion to approve the January 22nd, 2025 minutes of the non-public session.
We have a motion from Mr. Gannon.
I'll second
We have a second from Mr. Lynch.
it. Keep it in the corner.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
5, yep. I was just corrected, that's the interviews.
Yep.
22nd was the interviews.
So motion carries 500. I thought that's what that was.
Yeah, I made it wrong.
Okay. Up next, we have a notice of assessment review from NHDRA. Ms. Kleiner.
So I mentioned this briefly on Saturday night.
Mhm.
We have received notice from the New Hampshire Department of Revenue that
Is that what this is?
this is, nope, I'll get,
You get to that later?
that we, this is our year for an assessment review.
Okay.
What happens is they come down and they randomly choose different property files and they review all the activity that has been made, any assessment changes, any building permits, make sure that we're accurately capturing those permits. The other part of the review that they do is exemptions and credits. And so a number of people have inquired as to why we are asking them to recertify either their veterans credits or their elderly exemptions. So the state law actually requires and gives us the authority to periodically, that's the way the state law says, periodically review the information that qualifies the individual for the exemption or credit. The reason we do this every 5 years is we are coordinating that with the assessment review, because the New Hampshire Department of Revenue is going to ensure that we are still qualifying them to make sure that their income and their expenses, in the case of an elderly, still coincide and they're still applicable for the exemption or credit. So that is why we do it, and so I think you've noticed tonight that there was a large pile of recertifications for the veterans credit. They go through the same process for the elderly exemption, and so that when the DRA comes in, our files are complete, and they are sure that people qualify for the exemptions or credits they've been on. So we generally get this blanket letter letting us know that this is our year. And then we'll get about 2-week window of when they will actually show up. They'll email me and let us know. But they'll spend some time with Donna. that is.
Okay. All right. Up next, we have an intent to excavate map 20, lot 18-1, 18-2, 18-3. And this is Valrico Development? Okay.
And I apologize,
Oh,
I had a
yes.
lovely time trying to get this up on the portal.
Timber tax levy? Okay.
It's upside down.
It is upside down, and I could not get it upside right.
Just turn your head this way, Kevin.
Pretty good at looking at things upside down. Do you have any
So
issue?
it's, on Charles Bancroft Highway, it's 6 acres.
Across from Mills.
That's what that is.
It's a Charbonneau Way.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So this is what, this is
Gravel
across
up.
from Mel's then, right? That sand pit they're clearing out?
Correct. It's now, I consider the beach because the sand's been blowing on top
Yeah.
of the snow over there. So it looks sandy to snow.
It's non-slip.
In Florida, it's different.
So,
You
okay.
just need a motion for it to approve, right? 'Cause we get it
Yes.
signed. So I'll make a motion that we approve the notice of intent to cut from map 20 lot 18-1, 18-2.
Intent to excavate.
And excavate.
Excavate.
Oh, yeah, sorry, excavate.
I'll second it.
A motion for Mr. Brunel and a second from Mr. Lynch. A motion for Mr. Brunel, a second for Mr. Lynch.
The
Any
interesting
further
thing,
discussion?
the interesting thing, the reason why, is 'cause the actual document says intent to cut
Mhm.
on the title of the document.
Oh,
It does say, it is intent to excavate.
it
I
is
was-
an intent
I was
to
reading
excavate.
the actual thing that came off the PDF, I'm like, that's not.
Yeah,
right.
it's, because it says what it is. Intent
So
to
it's,
excavate.
it's excavate.
Yeah, he is
Still intent,
excavating.
Yeah.
he's still
I don't think there
intending
was
over
anything
there.
to cut.
Yeah, like I said, it's weird, it's just the way the PDF says.
All those in favor say aye.
Says-
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, yeah.
Abstained? Motion carries 500. Thank you for that. Up next, we have preliminary DRA assessment
Yeah,
sales
tim-
ratio.
Timber tax levy.
Timber tax.
Oh, didn't we just do that?
No, we just
No.
Oh,
did
no,
that.
I'm sorry. Up next, we have the
excavate.
timber tax levy. I'm ahead of myself.
I threw you off with the intent to
Yeah,
cut.
that's all right.
So this is map 18, lot
Me on my toes.
62. This is the Signature Homes project.
Okay.
And so a month or so
Okay.
ago, you had improved an intent to cut.
Yep.
This is authorizing the tax collector to collect timber tax in the amount of $3,215.12.
Okay.
Someone got it wet.
We need a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the timber tax levy for map 18, lot 62, in the amount of $3,215.12.
Motion for Mr. Gannon.
Second.
Second for Mr. Brunel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 500.
Need a buzzer with a light.
What's that?
Need a buzzer with a light.
Right? So,
Well said.
You want to talk about that? We actually went
would-
by it. So this
did
was,
we?
Yeah,
was
this
it?
was in
Where's that?
the discussion of Saturday's meeting
Yeah?
that Selectman Queenan read.
Okay.
During that meeting, Selectman Queenan asked if we could kind of break down what that 10% would be in a dollar figure.
Oh, yep.
So, we went through, and what I've attempted to do, and it's on the portal if any of the public is interested,
Yep.
is these are this box here.
Yep.
These are the figures that are issued to us by the DRA when we calculate the budget. So when we're through the warrant process, we calculate the budget, these are the figures that we have to tie to. So down below, I'm indicating to you what amounts those make up those figures, because it's not entirely clear. So the special warrant articles of 6,740,000, that's
I
the
was gonna
board
ask to get
because
that
it
on.
includes the bond.
Yeah.
But it's only 235,000 for the budget committee, because they didn't approve the bond.
Oh, okay.
The revenues and for the board is different, again, because of the bond, than the budget committee. So I kind of down below, you'll see what
Yep.
that figure equals and what amounts actually go into that.
Yep.
When you're looking at the 10%, it's the total amount recommended by the budget committee. So the 8,725, which is the operating budget, the 41,540 for the supplemental fire, the assistant librarian, plus all the amounts that are coming from unassigned, because those are appropriations. It's just, you're not taxing them.
Yeah.
You're getting that revenue from somewhere else, but they're still appropriations.
So it's total appropriations.
So total appropriations, so you get that
Yep.
725, which does not include the bond, because they didn't approve it. You get to exclude the debt that has been approved by your legislative body previously, which for us is the fire station bond. And so for us, that's 150 in principal, 71 in interest, because remember, we lowered that,
Yep.
or by the impact fees.
Yep.
And so you're taking 10% of that. So at town meeting, at deliberative session, no one could add more than $850,372 to the budget.
Okay.
That's where we're capped.
Hey, John, I just got a text that they're getting static on what's being broadcast. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Okay. And that's based on the total appropriations, 10%.
Correct. The 10%, the total appropriations less the
Yep.
fire bond and the
Fire
fire
bond, yep.
interest on the bond.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Extremely helpful.
And it's
I
helpful.
understand it.
I mean, we always have it at town meeting.
Yeah.
Because legal counsel will ask us, are we within the 10%? You know, I think it's very rare that someone would get up and add $850,000
Yep.
to, but
So
Don't.
the bottom line on this is the estimated amount of taxes to be raised, the board's recommended budget and the budget committee is the same, which is $5,008,157.
yes.
Okay? So, and the way the math works out is different, but it all comes to the same, because we have different numbers with the bond included, whereas they don't, and whatever, but we also have higher appropriations and higher revenues / grants. Okay,
So I think it's very,
this will be on the website, right? We should put this on the
It's already
website.
I can.
It's
put
already-
it
You
on
did?
the
Oh,
website.
thank you.
I can, I think this is, it becomes complicated, and I certainly understand where, people may get a little bit confused. Because when we're talking, like, the tax cap calculation that you see at the top, that says has a current year tax of 5,309,885, right? And that's what we are following as the budget committee is making their approvals. We're looking at that number, but that's different than the 5,008 that the DRA has. The reason being is you have to add in the amount, the 41 that
Yep.
they approved
Yep.
for fire, the two
Yep.
warrant articles
Yep.
that are coming from taxation.
Yep.
You have to reduce it by the veterans credit
Yep.
and the overlay.
Yep.
And then you get that 5,008.
Yep.
But to most people, they wouldn't know that unless, we've done this for a long time.
Can this go in the slide deck as an appendix in the back in case you have to reference it during town deliberative?
We can.
Might be a
We
good
can put it
idea, yeah.
anywhere you'd like.
The more information, the better.
Yep,
In case it comes up as a question, then we
Yep.
can go right here.
yep,
It's a visual.
sure.
Okay,
Right, I just thought it would be helpful,
that is helpful,
and
actually.
I know Selectmen
breaks it
Queen had
down
asked
better.
for it.
Yeah,
Think about it.
Hey, Kevin, were they watching on cable or, because
I don't know.
it's crystal clear on YouTube and Facebook, so I don't think I can't check his YouTube.
Probably
Okay.
K,
It's probably cable, I'll check that. Can't check it now, but I can check it.
because that's what I would use at home.
Okay.
So. Up next, we have town deliberative and warrant article presentation.
No, now we have the preliminary assessment, right?
Now we have what?
Preliminary assessment,
The
TRA assessment to
preliminary
sales ratio.
Sales ratio.
Missed that one again, Bob.
No, I tried to go there earlier. And I got kicked to the curb.
All right, so,
I'm not
I'll
going there
vouch for
again.
you.
Thanks, Kim. I can always count on you.
in your consent, folder this evening, is a request from Avatar, our assessors. Every year, every municipality has to complete a, sales ratio, otherwise known as an equalization. This is because every year your property, right,
Don't go there.
is probably not equal to the market value.
It is.
And you're finding out what the difference is by taking qualified sales within your municipality, and comparing them. So, our equalization ratio, this year, with 91 qualified sales. Qualified sales means it's an arm's length transaction. It's not me selling to my son. It's not,
Yep.
you know, me putting something in a trust. It has to be pretty much a, open market sale. But we have dropped.
65%,
73?
75.
You say up?
91 qualified sales. No, I did get that right. Can I see the consent?
What's that?
65.5.
65.5, yep.
The median assessment and the coefficient
Excuse me?
of dispersion is 9.4, which is well within acceptable range. This is Avatar just looking for permission to submit the study to the New Hampshire Department of Revenue, who then finalizes it. And later on this spring, they will issue the equalization ratio, that the town will use. Is it low? Yes, it's very low. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's dangerously low, but I think you're also heading into a revaluation year. So that will correct it. I'm not sure if everybody saw,
Is that the union leader?
but there was an article, about property values.
Yeah, I think, yeah. we'll
And
publish
so, Mr. Danacore, who's the assistant director of the, DRA, Municipal and Property Division, he stated that statewide values rose from 114 billion in 2020, that was our last reval, to nearly 336 billion in 2023.
That's a lot.
Yes, 51% hike. So that would show that we're falling just about in line with that. That figure does not include 66 communities that had to do a reval in 2024. And so they're saying that those municipalities that have not done a reval since 2019, and we had one in 2020, are going to see these types of shifts in their
Is that
in
today's
their
paper?
numbers. No, I think this was Sunday's paper.
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday, Saturday
yeah.
/ Sunday.
Yeah.
But, so Commissioner Stepp, she's commissioner of the DRA, she said that these types of changes are consistent with the changes that we've seen in the market since 2020. And a lot of it since COVID, right? So you have a large amount of people that seem to be moving into the state. They're looking for homes and they're paying a lot for their homes, and that's just naturally driving
Way too much.
the fair market value of these homes. So I think, unfortunately, we're in line with what's happening in the rest of the state. And I would suggest that we allow Avatar to send it to the Department of Revenue. That's what this was from. They do a thorough examination of the study and they will issue final numbers. So really, if someone was to have an abatement, that ratio gets applied to their abatement. Other than that, we'll really see where the values come out at the end of the rebound. We'll be watching it closely. I do have data on the sales. I did look at the sales. And they're pretty much your lower priced homes or lower valued homes, 300,000 to 500,000, seem to have quite a swing for the purchase price. So it makes sense. You know, if you're buying a $300,000 home, you might be able to go to 400,000. If you're buying a $700,000 home, you might not be able to afford 800,000. You know,
Probably shouldn't be buying a $700,000 home then.
yeah, it's a tough market.
What did John say? What did you say?
If you can't afford 800,000, you shouldn't be buying a $700,000
Yeah.
home. So the unfortunate part is that there's all
Nothing
kinds of
else.
costs there.
But you had to report the facts, right? That you had 91, it's quantitative, you have the sales, right?
Yeah.
But the facts say what it is.
Yeah, you have to, so
Yeah.
you have to,
It's supply and
house supply.
demand. It's what it all comes down to.
And
Is
there's a lot of
supply and
demand and no supply in southern New Hampshire, so.
John, I wouldn't put the addition on for a while.
after the evaluation.
I'm thinking of you.
Put an addition on. Oh, God.
But when can a municipality change your assessment? When you apply for a building permit and when you make changes to your property.
That's
We do
right.
not have
That's
to
right.
wait for the revaluation.
No, because they'll pick it up on that.
Yeah, no matter what happens, you gotta end up paying.
Yeah. So, on your portal, I put the information for the last few years, which actually came from a slide that we did in the municipal finance series that we did. We dropped 71 to 65. That's it's not great, but
Owning a house today is more of a burden for taxes than everything else.
But, a lot of people talk about taxes, revaluation and taxes. So, tax rate goes down, as assessments go up. The only problem with that is it's not uniform and everybody doesn't get the same, hit in the same way.
Yep.
But,
And everybody tries to downgrade their assessed value of their house until they sell it.
yes.
True.
Yes. but I'm pretty
Best thing
sure.
to do is don't fix it up, it stays old.
Can't live that way neither. You gotta maintain your asset
But
otherwise.
lenders,
For years.
lenders do look at assessed values. So, if you can find a mortgage lender who's going to lend you $600,000 house for an assessment of $300,000, let me know who that lender is, cause it's not normal.
Many of them left.
It's not normal.
All I know is that the building it's all gonna come down. There's gonna be a crash.
At some point, has to be.
Okay, I've been through a few crashes already with the building part, and the house is worth this year, next year it's not. And they get upset about it.
Wasn't
Well,
it
it's like-
1990?
Yeah, there's one that happened.
89, 90?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cause I
so-
know I
so,
just started in Milford and, whoa, everything went down. In Londonderry, we had crashes the latter part of the eighties.
Yep, those big ones, Ben.
But then in the mid-eighties, we had a building boom. You know, they had home at 250 homes per year they allowed. They had growth control in, so we maxed it out in July.
I still think the problem is inventory is still very low.
It
And
is.
there's not a lot of land left to develop,
And no one's selling right now.
Right.
They're staying.
so.
So NRPC is saying people are looking on Zillow or whatever and buying it from out of state, they don't even look at it.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of
Sight
corporations are
unseen.
buying the homes, not people, so they're getting locked out and being
Yep.
forced to rent.
There's a lot of investors running around right now trying to buy a property.
Yep.
So,
A lot of that going on, but people buying.
Buy your home for cash.
Resale
Oh, yeah.
too.
Well, so, I don't think it requires a motion. It just requires
Us to say yes.
allowing us to,
We've been doing it
give Avatar the.
We do it all the time.
So, there is a form in your consent.
Yep.
For you to sign.
It's the bright
it's
pink
over
one.
here.
Right, pink,
It's in this
happy
pile.
form.
That's fine.
Okay.
And Steve will get done with that pile soon.
Then we'll take on that pile.
Yeah, and we got that pile over there.
Now can we go to town deliberative and warrant articles?
can we please get there?
All right, up next. Oh, wait a minute. First I have something on unassigned fund balance.
Well, it's just, we'll explain it, right?
It is this, so, during the leadership meeting, it was brought to, my attention that some of the department heads had heard that, there were some questions about the use of unassigned fund balance, and I actually think we actually had one at the budget public hearing. So, you know, I said I would look at putting together, and I said brief. Well, unfortunately, it's very hard to explain unassigned fund balance in a couple sentences. But, so I put this together, sent it out to the department heads for their feedback. And I think it's maybe something that we should consider giving to the public that does question this, putting it on the website so that they understand what your local policy is, how your local policy is in line with the GFOA policy and the DRA policy. And then why we keep an unassigned fund balance, right? I mean, number one reason is because we only collect revenues twice a year. But, and then how we got to where we are with an assigned fund balance of 11.23 now. And the money that you're suggesting that we use from unassigned for the warrant articles, because it's, you know, over $300,000 worth of warrant articles that we're funding from unassigned. which may be a little more than normal. But the fact is that, you know, approximately 400,000 comes from 2024 unspent funds and 350,000 in excess revenue, so,
And we spent almost 400,000 of it, one-time costs.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just something that hopefully, may answer some questions that are out there.
So of the 3.1 that we have, are we adding 350,000 to that?
So you'd actually, out of the 3.1 you have, you'd be, adding about 350 when it's done, cause
Yeah.
you have 400, about 400 in unspent appropriations.
Yep. And we're spending almost 400. So that pretty much wipes that out.
398, so yep, about
398, this
350.
says 393.
398 because of the 5,000 to cemetery.
Oh, that's right, okay, that's right,
Yep.
okay, yep,
I'll make that correction.
okay.
That's the difference.
Mhm.
I wrote
So
this
we're gonna
before
be
that.
putting 400,000 in there, which is bump it up to almost 400,
Yep.
bump it up to 3.5, which will be about what, 13%,
No,
12 and a half?
I can't do
because
that.
of the rise in the town budget, which isn't that much, but the school budget is going up quite a bit. The percentage of that new number to the general, fund operating will probably be about the same. It'll be close, maybe 11.4, 11.3, 11.4, but it's not gonna be drastic.
That's school, spending a
Because
lot of money.
it's a percentage.
I'd talk to Mr. Cutter.
Hey, John, it's getting better.
Okay. We didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
I got a note too from somebody, yeah. Comcast must have fixed the problem.
So I'll make that change from the 393 to 398,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
if the board is acceptable with it, we'll
Yep.
post it and.
Yep.
Yep,
Go.
I'm fine with it.
I
Anybody
would,
have any
um,
objections?
I would add this as a page, not a PDF. Build a page under the town section, with just cut and paste the whole wording in there and format it correctly.
Okay.
And then we can cross-post it on the administration page too, just a, you know, why unassigned balance or something, just call it something and sit there and live there for a long time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll call you and you
Yeah,
can
okay.
help me.
The IT guy, we need him.
I think it's a good reference stock in general, so.
It is, yes, and
All right,
so.
up next,
We're
again,
still building. So all of your documents are there, everything is posted,
yeah,
the warrant, the budget, the default. They're all posted out in the lobby, they're on the website. The superintendent was taking it back and posted them all at Campbell.
okay,
Where that takes us is I am in the process of building your slides,
mhm,
for deliberative, which is this document, and you will see that we're not done yet. What I need from you is who is doing what items so that we can include it as we do here. So the new police department building, we have the police presentation, and I'm assuming that that will be Chief Jones?
Yep.
And,
I might suggest that maybe John, do that with him, because you've been kind of in this process from the beginning,
Happy to
when the fire started, the fire station started.
The fire.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
I was
he's
gonna
been
say
on
the
board
same.
since the very
Yeah.
There's a
beginning.
lot of background in that.
Yeah,
I agree with
and you
that.
can answer probably as many questions, probably more questions than the chief can, being fairly new.
so on,
If
we
you have no
have,
objection.
you know,
I have no objections to it, thank you. At all.
and then where they
times.
can get all the documents.
Okay.
If, so, John, if you have things that you want added, I'll just share the PowerPoint with you, and the
yep.
chief only wanted to go through his
Sorry.
presentation, which he's edited a little for this purpose.
Should be fine.
Operating budget is the chair of the budget committee. I have shared this
It's their
with
budget.
him.
Yep.
Yep,
It's their budget. So he does that section.
Yep.
Article 8, Human Services. So this is the, $20,450 that goes, to.
Yep. I'll do that.
Okay.
And it's the reevaluation, trust
I
me.
usually do that one.
And,
if I stay with that?
okay.
Which one's that?
Number 9.
Reevaluation. She does.
Well, you know I'm not doing that.
I was gonna recommend you do this.
Then if we lose electricity, I can probably recall.
I take a lot for the team, but
And so, we will update, this section in yellow here. Selectman Queenan is the selection, is the
Yep.
part that I have to update.
Yep.
I-
okay.
And then Article 10 is the ambulance revolving fund. Because Ms. White she really works on this the most. I have not included detail for it, other than I know the balance, but I wanted to sit with,
Karen.
Ms. White tomorrow and, get the detail to include with it, so that's why it's blank, but is there someone that should speak to the ambulance revolving fund? Of course, this is the money that we,
We set aside every year.
yes, that we,
That's an easy one.
people that
Anybody want an easy one?
that we
Take
have
it.
to pay.
You take it?
I'll
Kevin?
stutter twice,
All
Okay,
right.
so.
make the meeting longer.
Just say, this is an easy one.
Yeah.
And if you want, Kevin, you can sit with Karen on Friday and she can
Okay.
give you,
Friday? No way. You're only here half a day.
on Friday, yeah.
So come in early.
Article 8 is the, general assistance. And
11,
so
Article
this,
11.
No, that's Article 11.
oh, Article 11, sorry.
Yep,
Hey,
yep.
It's been a long week for
And
you.
so this one, this is the one that is
Yep.
the welfare administrator, which.
I'll
is-
take that one.
You're gonna take that one?
Or we could let Kim do it.
I'm the welfare administrator.
If you want.
It's her baby.
It'd be good, Kim, if you
Okay,
did it.
that's fine.
Well, you get the calls, you were the contact, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
agencies,
Okay.
Yeah,
then you can see tell them the trends, what you're seeing.
okay. Public Works,
Kevin.
expendable trust.
Okay, Kevin, stand up for a second.
Kevin,
You mean the
Kevin
road
Brown?
agent?
You talking
Kevin
about Kevin
Brown?
Brown?
I'll do it, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
If Kevin wants to get up and talk to it, he can too, also,
Yeah.
I
obviously.
doubt he does, but.
And the next two are the
Okay.
police cruisers, right? I would assume either the chief or Captain Tessier will be there, to probably present it. I mean, we'll certainly get there and.
They, I asked, and they said they would be happy to. They do have information, I just haven't brought it over yet. So, Article 13 and 14, do you want it to be the chief or the captain?
Could be either or, and if they don't wanna do it, I'll do it.
Could do both of them.
Okay,
They could do both because
Yeah.
they know their cars better than us.
Right.
take pictures of the cruises sitting, I noticed the lot's empty today. Must mean Edwards is filling up.
I think there was at least two there. Was
There was
it
two over the
three?
weekend, they're
Saw three?
both
I
back,
saw
they're both
three.
back today.
Oh, my
Both back
goodness.
here today.
Yeah, yeah,
They got it fixed, they're back,
yeah,
but it's, well, they got them running.
yeah.
And again, I'll have all of this complete as of Wednesday, because of course Thursday and Friday I'm not here, but I will be at town hall early Saturday morning.
Really?
So I'll have this complete as of Wednesday, and I will email it to each of you, so
Thank
that you have it and can read it over. So that's, Article 15 is the cemetery.
Cemetery trustees, if they wish to come up and speak to it.
I don't have a problem doing it.
I mean,
I guess I'm on their board, so
Well, that answers the question.
I can do it.
Okay,
I didn't know you're on the
Pinecrest.
board.
Yep, Pinecrest, yep.
Thank you.
and it's it's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Well, I know nothing about that.
Article 16 is the lease, and
got it.
I would suggest that's John.
And I do have, I think I'm gonna have like 2 or 3 slides added in the back, kinda give the why and the what, and
Please,
so,
please.
I'll probably
do
add
it.
them probably tomorrow.
Okay,
There's a blank slide I did add that remind me, but.
perfect. And I left one.
So
Then Article 17, I'm assuming is the chief, who's already given me a bunch of
Chief Nichols, yeah.
information. So I'm assuming Article 17 is Chief Nichols.
5 minutes or less.
Well, they could do something.
We're gonna be in the comfortable gymnasium, we'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I got a show to go to at 2:00 over there.
So am I.
You gotta go too?
My granddaughter's in it,
Yeah, mine too. Mine's a teacup. What's yours? Oh, no, feather duster.
I don't know. She didn't tell me. Well, she probably, my wife probably knows and I don't.
Right?
18 is trustee Donna Ferguson.
Librarian house, okay.
Yeah. And I did speak with Vicky, so she knows. 19,
I'll do that one.
I thought so.
Yeah, I saw the look.
Steve Gannon.
Give me a copy of that when you do
And Article 20 is the
Chuck.
Pennachuck eminent domain.
it. I'll leave that up to you.
And
That's
I
my
don't
opinion.
mind doing
She knows
it.
it better than us.
Do you have
Um,
one? Do you have one?
I have number 9, but I don't know who number 8 is. I thought, I had, maybe John.
What's 8?
Number 8.
Number 8 is Bob.
That's me.
Oh, that's you? So you're doing 7?
I'll do Pennachuck with you as well.
Who's doing
Since we
7?
were there at the beginning.
Who's doing 7?
I mean,
What
What
is
is
7?
Is that you?
7?
Operating
down
budget,
John.
that's,
That's
JD.
JD.
Oh, that's why, because
You ain't
that's
got
why I
seven.
shifted everything
Chairman
down.
of the
There's-
Budget
Okay, so
Committee.
yeah,
Katie's
okay, John
watching, so
Davidson.
say hi to her.
Yeah, hi,
yeah,
JD.
seven's
So-
James
Gotcha.
Davidson.
I was thinking, yeah. Okay, you're
I'm
the-
sorry, I'm just thinking.
All right, so we're talking about
thinking of
Pennachuck?
I mean, I think for Pennachuck, I can speak to
Well, the,
the
the back-
merger
Yeah.
and the recent, and then if someone would like to jump in and talk to the eminent domain piece, and but I'll put together talking points.
Thank you.
Again, we have
We have a volunteer.
Council Laura Spector Morgan there as well, who will answer questions, should there be any. Because she and I sat through all of the very long.
Can you tell me what that last part of that Article 20 says? After it says, select board as agents to expend from said fund, it says recommendations required, it's just by itself.
On the second page.
Oh, there must be
Down low.
recommendations
It's-
from the boards, right?
Just from
The
the
wording,
boards?
the wording's wrong, cause it says recreational expenditure trust fund.
Oh,
So
I'm looking
it's
at number
still-
20.
No, he's looking at 20.
20,
Uh-huh.
No.
Above
you-
the
she's
vote.
right.
Wait
Wait a minute,
You
the
cut,
wording-
you get some cutting and pasting that didn't get finished,
Yeah,
that's all.
some-
Yeah,
Something's
I'm
not right
done.
there.
Okay,
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of extra
sorry,
articles in there
that
too.
doesn't belong there.
but doesn't it say recommendations required,
Article
just 2 words there by itself?
20 isn't updated yet.
So 20 is still going, okay.
Yeah.
And the rest is all garbage.
20
after
goes
that,
on to
right?
2 pages.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, it
yes,
does.
the
That's
rest
what
is
I'm
all, we're still, that's all needs to be deleted. Like I said,
Yeah.
I just started this file yesterday.
I don't know what you've been doing with your time.
So do you have me on that one? I'll stand up there too. Kind of Chuck.
On Pennachuck?
Yeah, Kim and I were gonna do it.
Oh, you're gonna do it?
Yep.
All right.
The other one I got here is on the last page, given under the hands of said of Litchfield, this 27 days of January, okay, 27th day of January, never mind.
Okay.
Cool.
So I do have
I
one
would have
question
said
though.
February, January 27th.
Do we have to vote, do we have to do a selection on number 6 tonight?
On what
Sorry?
tonight?
Number 6, do we have to pick the rate, the years and the rate tonight?
Oh, for
So-
the bond?
For the bond?
So
Dollar
I
values?
thought that you don't have to.
Correct.
That does not come into play until it has actually been approved by the
Yeah, that's what I
voters.
would think too, because
Yep.
that could slide a little bit.
Because hopefully go
Oh,
down-
because we
hopefully go
can, we
down.
can change the term, the years, you just, but the number can't change. The
Right,
number
and
is
as
solid.
as you get closer, you wanna have an idea on what
where
the
it's gonna
actual
fit.
interest rate is.
And the rates and.
But do they want a ballpark idea? Do they want to see a scenario? I
I
would.
think all of the options are pretty close as far as the tax impact.
Are they gonna ask for numbers? Are they gonna see that sheet? The one, you had the color coordinated sheet up
Yes,
there, right?
That would be in the voter's hand guide, but it will not be on, it cannot be in the ballot.
But it'll be in the
it's
presentation.
not in the ballot.
Okay.
It
they have
was
something.
up here.
I just to hand them this, oh, we
Well-
want to get a new police station, you don't give them, you know,
Well, it's got.
they don't
You
understand.
know,
That's what I mean, I didn't know if we had to
whether
pick
or
a term.
not it's
Above.
included in the slide is kind of, no one's can read it anyways.
Right.
So I'm not a big fan of including things that people can't read.
But it'd be in the handout, right? So they'll
But
have
it will be in the voter guide, and
Oh, good.
I went back and I looked at the voter guide last year.
Could we
They
not,
had it for the school.
could we not just take, I think we looked at level,
We looked at 15,
Level
level
principal,
yeah, I
principal
agree.
and level debt, right?
and so we said 15 level principal.
Yep.
Can we just use that as an example, just to give them an idea that a new police station means it's a $250 impact to your tax base year over year until it's paid off?
Yeah.
I think everyone's guessing what it is, and I think for me to, I'm probably lowballing it too, but
You wanna just show the
just,
15, or the couple level principals?
I think we're kind of settling in on 15
15,
anyway.
yeah.
I would just say 15 level
Something.
principal.
Well,
Just going,
yeah.
this is what we're
Yeah.
thinking about doing, this is what we're talking, this is gonna be a $300 impact to your tax year over year
Yeah.
to get a new police station to settle us, to keep us moving forward for the next 25 plus years.
Maybe show the
least.
15
I would
and
hope
then
not.
just like the
Yeah.
first couple
Yeah.
lines at 20, just so someone says, well, what happens if we had 5 years and it drops?
Yeah, you could do that too. I would just like one slide just has a
Well, yeah.
few rough numbers
Yeah.
and
Yeah, 'cause
just,
that is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
so we could
It
talk to this.
diffuses it,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then that'll just be that'll be part of the handout anyway, or the voter's guide, they can
The
look
only,
at
the only
it.
thing with the, and it's a good point for discussion, is if you add years, you're also adding interest payments.
Correct.
So then it was quite a big difference between
Yes.
15 and 20, 25,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah,
30.
yeah, you're paying a lot more for the project. You may be spreading that out a lot longer, but you're paying a
You're
lot.
spreading it way out.
But
yeah,
it's not really doing that much in the payment
Yeah.
either, you know, it's not a significant decrease.
And I just think when people look at it and look at it and go, okay, if my house is worth $500,000 and the impact is this,
Mhm.
you know what, this is an investment we should be making in our town because I understand it.
Yeah.
But without any number in front of them, they're not gonna understand what that $6.5 million does to them,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I
And
agree.
it's a number, but it's not, I mean, if you do a big grocery run, that's the cost, right?
Yeah.
It's the cost of groceries, and I'm not saying, I'm not
Yeah,
making
it's
light
true.
of that,
No,
But it's.
but
yeah,
it's not $1,000, it's
No.
300, 250, 400, but that range. It's not as scary.
and for what it's worth, the last big project that the town did was Campbell. And they did it the right way, I thought. They did a short term, 15 years, and got it paid off. And before you knew it, you know, that bond was done.
But
15
you,
years isn't a
and you
long
had
time.
that impact the first year, right? The increase the first year, year after year after that, it's in your taxes.
It's
I
fixed
mean,
in there, all right,
it's, you're,
Yeah,
Yeah, your
Not
taxes aren't gonna jump,
increasing.
yeah.
They're not gonna jump year after year.
for a lot of people,
It's one payment and it's gonna stay there.
a $200 bill is a good night out for dinner.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Price of-
But I mean, it's not like it's gonna be $200, then $400, and then $300, you know, it's gonna stay where it is, and. you know,
It's a
peop-
manageable number for most.
I-
It's an insurance policy, yeah. But I agree with you, jumping around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't wanna jump around, no.
Yeah, I think maybe, like I said, that one slide with a few examples that lets them resonate on that, to understand what the impact really is. We're not talking we're not talking $1,000 a year, we're talking.
right. Okay. Perfect.
So we'll we'll lay it out that way.
Yeah, so we'll, I'll be working on this, and touching base with, other people, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then, Wednesday before I leave, you will have it.
Perfect.
And what is it, Saturday at 1
One.
o'clock?
Sunday at 1
1
o'clock.
o'clock in the gymnasium.
Yep.
Do you know if anyone's talked to the school about the chairs? Or should I give Jake a call?
I did
Last
briefly
year,
with
right? 1
Brian,
o'clock, February first.
who was going to touch base with his maintenance person and tell them just like last year.
Yep.
But
Which means you gotta tie wrap all the chairs, there's all kinds
it
of.
never hurts to,
Yeah, I'll talk to Brian tomorrow.
And Dave Ross is in charge of setting those up over there.
Well, Dave, yeah, it's one of his other guys, but yeah.
I know,
I'll see him
but Dave's the
tomorrow.
top, of, you know,
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
he's the food chain.
Okay.
I'll start at the high level, I'll go right to the superintendent
There
and
you
the
go. Yeah.
principal.
Who's he? I keep on changing. Dave's been there a long time.
Yeah, Dave's been there a long time.
Yeah. He's a good guy too, the new super.
is.
He is such a good guy.
Yep.
Did I hear it starts at 1 o'clock and you have to be there, leave at 2?
Just gonna walk next
Good, next, good.
down the hall.
This is gonna be Evelyn Wood.
Yeah, somebody.
Until the last one, it's an hour.
Gotta go.
School doesn't communicate well with
Yep.
their buildings.
All right.
That's all I gotta say.
well, we have to say that this won't happen again.
Yeah,
Right.
Because the first and
I
the
heard that last year, but I.
first and
I'll get
second
behind it.
Saturday have been
blocked
Yep.
off.
blocked
Okay, good.
by the high school.
All right, up next, we have town administrator and selectmen reports. Start with the town administrator.
You got something to report to?
So, other than everything being crazy blur, we have actually, we're looking to tie the February newsletter with deliberative,
Okay.
and the budget and, highlight some key things that the, department heads think are important. We also, will be advertising the town academy. So I don't know if you remember, we talked about this a few months ago. Department heads would, probably 2 departments a night would be putting on, an instructional for residents that sign up for the program. And, we teach them all there is to know about what we do. And so when the leadership group met on last Wednesday, we looked at starting the town academy on February 25th. And we'd start with administration and the board of selectmen. So we would need members of the board there that night to talk about what you do. And then the next, week would be, the police. So right before voting, it would be the police. We talked about what we need to run the program. And we said really 12 residents at a minimum. I mean, you need to have some participation in order to ask department heads and board chairs and that to, give up their nights, so, we'll develop a form, we'll get it advertised, and I think we talked about we could actually take, well, the department heads didn't want us to cap it, but I don't think, depending on where we are holding it, I would prefer to hold it at the community room in the fire station, cause I just think it's more comfortable. I don't think, not that this would be a problem, but I don't think 60 is great. I think around 30 is probably your cap if you got that. But so we're gonna give it a try. We have had a couple boards say they're interested in presenting, so that'll be good.
Cool.
And we are working on the strategic plan, which we hoped to have to you, by now. With town meeting and everything, it just did not happen, so we're hoping to have an update next meeting. Working on our goals and objectives and
Okay.
putting that together. The other thing that I have is the TAP grant for the sidewalk. So unfortunately, the figures that we had were not gonna be accepted for acceptance of the grant. So we really need updated numbers. And there are some changes due to stormwater requirements and things of that sort that need to be looked at.
Happens.
I did talk with Mr. Jameson,
There you go.
at the state.
Yep.
And, he said that, that it's a 4-year cycle, so the next tap is until 2028. But there's a CMAQ next year for 2026, and he said the project would qualify for that. So if we can get updated numbers and updated information, then we can apply for that. And then I was told, just today, got the great news that the stormwater is now looking at year 7. Of course, we had an updated stormwater, regulations that the EPA had put out. Now this is the time where they develop another plan with another set of regulations, and that goes through a public comment process, and it starts all over. And so we, Mr. Brown and I will have to attend a workshop in March, with the other municipalities to walk us through what the EPA is proposing, so that all of the municipalities can come up with some type of impact that the state can then use to either push back or agree with, or at least communicate to the EPA. So, stormwater will be ramping up. Okay. And that's all I have.
Did you kill it?
Something cough drops are not good for you.
They make you cough. Apparently.
Wow.
All right, up next, we have, we had the Board of Selectmen Board and Commission updates, the schedule. That's on the website. We can move on from there.
Lifesaver?
We have Selectmen reports.
Oh, and they've changed. Recreations.
What's that?
Recreation is not Mr. Gannon, it's Mr. Lynch.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
For a little while.
All right, all right. Well, up first, we have capital improvement, economic development, NRPC, and all things.
That's about it.
You get to go first today.
I get to go first today? All right. Well, I'm confused.
Ladies first.
Michael Croto with SIP and Economic Development. All right, well, Economic Development. We need to make a call on that if it's going to go out or not. All right, so just for an update, we last met October 30th. We did not meet November 27th because it was the eve
Yep.
of Thanksgiving. We did not meet on Christmas Day. So that is why we wouldn't meet until this month.
Yep.
If we do meet, it will be 6:30 PM at the town hall here, if we meet.
Okay.
And John has, cable crew, everything ready. So let's just see, we'll make a call because we have to post that by tomorrow morning if it's going to happen. If we do meet, we were going to remember where we left off, just after we met with the town, people that came in on our focus group. They would go over that mixed-use development alternative up in the northern part of town, because that probably would have some economic development impact. And Laura Gandia and Jay Mankara were going to update us with any potential or proposed zoning modifications. So, all right, so that would be Wednesday, October 30th, I believe.
October.
29th, maybe.
Said
Wednesday, the 29th.
She meant January.
All right, so SIP. This was, I believe, we're not meeting in February? Are we meeting in March?
Correct.
Okay. So we will be meeting in March.
After the election?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought, but then well, I was surprised. I thought when we were writing our notes, we said between, but that's all right. All right, NRPC, we meet February 19th, 7 PM for the full commissioner meeting. All of the transportation groups of the state and the Fed, plus all the commissioners meet at 7 PM, February 19th, at NRPC at 30 Temple Street in Nashua.
Cool.
That's
it.
all I have.
Nice and easy. Right, up next, we'll do, energy and conservation, Mr. Brunel.
So Energy hasn't met, Conservation,
Emergency
couple
management.
updates there. The ice fishing derby, I think I talked about it last meeting or prior, is gonna be, February 22nd on a Saturday at Dara Pond. So far, the ice looks like it's in good shape. So right now it's about 10 feet, or 10 inches of thick, so they're expecting it to stay that way.
Oh, yeah.
10 feet would've been great, wouldn't it? Just a small update. the
Oh,
intern
the
pro-
fish will be frozen in it.
Yeah. The intern program, the applications are due this week. They do have applications that have been submitted. Actually, one happens to be from the town, so obviously they'll make some selections in the next coming weeks. And that's it. Next meeting is the first week in February.
Okay.
For conservation.
Next meeting of SIP is April 7th.
April, so it is after warrant article.
It is after
Alright.
after the town votes in March.
All right, up next, we will do, Heritage Commission and Planning Board. Mr. Gannon.
Quick and easy, the last Heritage meeting was canceled, I don't see one scheduled yet for February, but I'm sure there will be. Planning Board, we were here doing the interviews for, the building inspector, so I wasn't able to attend that one. And the next one there is, the 18th of February. I'll give Kevin's report too.
Next Heritage Commission should be the 16th. Sorry, that was this month.
They
Yeah.
canceled.
Yep.
Thought they said they were meeting
And they're
on
meeting on the 20th, is the next scheduled meeting. So,
Okay.
February 20th.
I'll see if
Is
he
it
comes
not
back in.
on the town calendar?
Yeah.
It is?
All right?
Okay. That bronchitis is not good for you.
Yep.
Especially in the cold, it's horrible. Especially in the cold weather, it's horrible.
Got a frog in your throat, eating too many toadstools. It's your turn. Recreation.
We're gonna meet
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. And I'll find out what happens then.
All right, very good. All right, Budget Committee, well, we have deliberative Saturday. We had the budget hearing a week ago, and, so we won't meet again for a while, actually, other than deliberative, which is the next two Saturdays for the town and then the school. And, the, facilities improvement, trying to get their recommendation ready for the school as to how to move forward. going over the two reports that we got. Onsite Insight actually made their full report to the school board last week, I think. It might have been, yeah, last week, I think. And so we're gonna go from there. And we'll have something for you pretty soon, I'm sure. And that's it. Is there anything else anybody else would like to discuss? I said we can.
Yeah, energy, did they ever come back? Energy for.
Oh, the Energy Committee?
Energy, potential price lowering. Remember we were waiting for a call?
Yeah, we're still waiting on
We're
that.
still waiting.
For the-
Still
yeah.
waiting.
So, for those at home, that's the pricing for the co-op that was voted in a couple of years ago. And they're waiting to get some numbers before they come back to the town. We are expecting Eversource to go up, have a rate hike, so.
I just talked about that
Yeah.
in the news.
And the power company that we're dealing with is just waiting, to see what they have, to see if we can lower your prices for you. Great.
This is the end of the session.
Anything else anybody would like to discuss before we go? Do we have non-public? We do, okay. So, that will do it for our public session tonight. We do have one item, huh?
Short.
Short? Okay. So you say. Last time you said that, it took an hour. We do have one item in non-public session. Under RSA 91-A semicolon 3 comma 1. I don't know what that slash line is. B in parentheses, the hiring of any person as a public employee. With that being said, we have a motion to go into non-public.
So moved.
We have a motion from Mr. Gannon.
Second,
Second from Ms. Queen, and any country you heard
that
from.
one in.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 500. We are going into non-public at 8:11 PM. Everyone have a wonderful day. Don't forget Town Deliberative Saturday, 1 o'clock, Campbell Gym. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Oh, I can't wait.
So this article here?
Which one's that?